Alrighty, it's time to stream once again with the VOD reviews. Let me go. It's all set up. Awesome. So, just before we start, looks like I hit 50 followers. Awesome. Thank you for everyone who's put up with my shenanigans up until now. Today I want to look over some high-level Overwatch replays from a student of mine on Rockland High School. You might remember them from the NASEF Grand Finals. They play second nationally, so very proud of them. I'm going to be looking at their support players' gameplay on Lucio and Bap today, particularly with regards to their Havana game and their Temple of Anubis game. So we will get started with that, and this will go up on YouTube later.
Ready for battle.
Ready. So we're going to be looking at Radia here, right?
Let's up the tempo.
Watching them on Baptiste Lucio. So it looks like this is going to be a very Lucio heavy game for them on Havana. Probably some sniper challenging. We'll see how this goes. And hopefully they pop up in my chat. I let them know I would be streaming this game. So we're going to hopefully get some scrutiny on the Lucio gameplay today. So looking at what we're running. We've got Ryan, Zarya, Lucio on a Doomfist Tracer, so very brawly composition with the tanks and the supports, very helpful. Tracer and Doomfist are not going to have the most amount of support from Lucio, right? They're not going to be the up-in-your-face kind of frontline damage dealers, right? So it's a little bit hard to help them with Lucio as opposed to like a Mei or a Reaper. And you're going into Rhine, Diva, Lucio Bap with Widow and Tracer. So the Tracers ideally are dueling each other. So you don't have to worry about the Widow too much, hopefully. Is that Choi on Widow? If it's tank diff, that might be Choi Hyobin. But so Tracer Doomfist are ideally the ones dealing with the Widow, but it's something that you should definitely be aware about. Right. So what I want to see you doing, right, is I want to see you engaging on the front line with your tanks, right, helping them speed in. When the Lucio or when the Ryan is getting bubbled, right, when you have bubbles coming out, when you have nanos going out, I want you going in on this kind of stuff in order to help enable your team a little bit more, right? But you do have an Ana, so you have to be mindful about when you need a peel as well, right? Your boop is going to be really, really important. Things like Diva, things like Tracer are going to harass you quite a bit. So just be mindful of that kind of stuff. Looks like they're going for the spawn hold. Right. Let me play this back a little bit slower actually, just so I can process what's going on. It's Havana, I should have expected this, right? Okay, so they use lamp really early, and that's kind of your tanks are going in, right? So you should be ready to go in with them. Right? You're kind of dueling this Lucio, which isn't terrible, right? Your tanks are getting support from the Ana. And you're on the cart, right? So your tanks are playing really far up, and you're not there to help them out that much. So Ana can hold the cart, right? You should be trying to help your tanks out, especially with how hard they're going in, right?
I need a health system health compromise.
Like they're kind of feeding. Your Ana can have the cart handled, right? You got Doomfist on the cart. You've got yourself on the cart, but like your Ana isn't able to focus on the Echo because you're not playing with the tanks, right? Like you should be helping your tanks get in there. Right? So your impact is definitely not felt in this fight. You're getting payload progress, but the reason your Ana is healing these tanks is because like you're not there to do it, you know? Right? Ana needs to help out the Echo a little bit more. Okay, they're playing high ground. You're just staying heals. Right? Okay. So what happens to your DPS? Right, Echo goes aggressive. Echo kind of does her own thing. Doomfist does their own thing. They get punished for it, right? You're doing the right play by pushing onto them. Let's go back. Right. Right, you're enabling your team to go in. Your Zarya has bubbles ready to go, right? You can win this fight right here. You force the lamp, harassing the Baptiste, okay? Yeah, you can take that kill, right? That's a fight that you can take against the Baptiste right there. I'll watch this from a third-person perspective now, because like, you know, that's like the best option that you can be making here, right? So, what is your Zarya's bubble situation looking like? Right, they have it. They have it. You're trying to pursue these kills. Your Ana's got the cart. You're making good choices here. Enabling your team. D.Va's demeched. Right? Get this BAP out. Alright. Maybe go bail out your Ana though, right? Because this entire time while you pushed in. Right? So I said that this is the best choice, but now I'm looking at where this Tracer is, right? You are not in any position to help your Ana. And I don't think you know where the Tracer is, right? So your Doomfist has a situation handled for sure, right? Against the Baptiste and Lamp, Doomfist has that situation handled. Once you speeding in your tanks, right? They're out of bubble, or your Zarya doesn't have bubble anymore, right? Think about how you can be helping your Ana, because they still have their flankers, right? So who's been killed? Hog's been killed, but neither DPS has been killed, right? And this Ana isn't able to do much on their own, right? Ana's getting 0 help because you're all the way out here, right? Doomfist has the situation handled. Your tanks have got this situation handled pretty much. I'm not too worried about them getting healed, right? But your Ana is the one who needs help, and remember, you have to be peeling for her, right? So this is like a decent time for you to be on the payload, is because your Ana's gonna need help. And I wonder if you lose this because like, yeah, so you get killed. Why do you take so much damage? Is it from challenging the BAP or? No, it's McCree shooting at you, right? So like you definitely could have been helping your Ana, and that would have kept this fight going. I don't know why Vol does that, right? But there's a good chance that this fight is lost, just by the sheer nature of it still going, right? You don't have your tanks. They've used Lamp back out of this. Okay. Just chill and wait for your Ryan to come back. Okay. Right. So I want to go back to this because things are going a little bit too fast for me. Right. So what happens here? Right. You're chilling. All right. They eat the bomb. You back out of it. You should be helping your tanks go in here, right? Like, I get wanting to play with the Ana, but what do you recognize from the situation? Who's in the fight? So McCree's back here. Where is that Tracer? Tracer is on the flank, right? So I guess maybe you recognize that, but you should be trying to help your team go as one. And what happens because you miss this opportunity? Right? So Tracer messes up bomb. Echo went in without the team. Wasn't ready. Your team chills there. They're isolated. Right? And you weren't there to prevent that boot. Or you weren't there to prevent that charge, right, with the boot. Because your team didn't cross over together. Right? So make sure that you're stepping together in these situations. Right? You use your grav. Right? But it gets eaten. So your tanks were kind of alone, and then they got pressured into a situation where they felt the need to ult, right? Not phenomenal. Now, I'm not saying that's entirely on you, but like, what could you have done to prevent that, right? How could you have helped your Ryan? Your Echo needs to stop feuding. Alright. Okay, so this would have been not a terrible time to engage. right? Just so you're out of that. We'll chalk it up to unlucky. Okay.
Up the tempo. I'm just getting started.
Okay. You see that tracer? Your Echo's gotten shattered, right? Right, but who are you engaging with there? Right? Well, watch this back. Are you trying to bail out an Echo who's got an extra life? Or are you trying to engage with your team? Right? So you've gotten the bubble, so you're trying to engage, you're trying to make something happen, right? Where are you? Who gets killed off of this? What? Okay. Hold on a second.
Adaptive circuits engaged. Diva.
Okay. They use Shatter to get your Echo. And you've gone in trying to engage, and your team is trying to force the engagement while ults are on the field, right? But you went in because you wanted to bail out that Echo, right? Was this something that was calmed, right? Did you know that you're going to go in off of this, right? Did you know that you needed to be going in right there? Was that something that was planned, or did you do that to bail out the Echo? Because from the looks of it, right, it looks like you're trying to bail out your Echo, and your team is trying to push with you, and then they push into two ults.
Adaptive circuits
right?
engaged. Diva.
So Echo's kind of a feeder, like we've established that already, right? But now, like your team does not look ready for this push, right? Your team looks so uncoordinated, and you've already used your amp just to heal up your Ana from the tracer, right? So you just end up pushing into that. Now they have used quite a few ults, right? They've used Shatter, they've used Noon, they've used Window, and you're still sitting pretty with pretty much everything here, right? But did you just lead your team to their death? All right. You lose your amp trying to bail out this Echo. Like, stop worrying about this Echo so much, I think. All right. All right. Right here. Let's see it. Your Zarya has bubbles, right? So this is the time for you to be going in. Your Zarya has bubbles to help bail you out or to help your Ryan engage. This is where you want to be looking to push them into your Ryan, right? You're watching this mirror matchup happen. Your job is going to be not only helping your team engage, but you need to make sure that your team is, while closing the distance, able to get picks off of people, right? So something I want to see is a little bit more aggression, right? You're amping people in. Imagine what would happen if you had booped that ride forward, right? Like, this is a time where it's okay to play a little bit forward, just to get these plays in, right? Do you hit that beat? You do. Okay. All right. Let's look at a third-person perspective again. I'll play it in 75%. Right. So where are they? They're right here. Okay. They see your Doom coming in. D.Va goes to challenge that, right? You're speeding your team. And Ryan just holds shield. But, like, what if you had played and were able to boop this Ryan in, right? Are you looking for the aggressive plays that's going to help this Reinhardt get more swings in, right? You're closing the distance, which is good. But what are you using your boop for? Especially because the Zarya is prepared for it, right? Now this is ranked, so it's not going to be the most coordinated thing, but I don't want to push up that far because I'm probably going to get flashed by McCree. McCree is dealing with the Doomfist here, right? Kree's not even looking at you. At least in this specific moment, Kree's not looking with you because the Doom actually timed this really well, right? And even if you do get flashed by McCree, that means that your Doomfist isn't. Like I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I understand where you're coming from there, but like the timing here was really good from your DPS, right? because the Kree shouldn't be worried about you here. Kree needs to be worried about that Doomfist and just messes up, right? And are you even within a flashbanging range, right? I mean, here you're not for sure. You might have been able to do it if you had gotten here, but like, is this something that you could just let a little bit earlier? Right, if you're walking in front of your team more. All right, CB for that. Yeah. All right. D.Va's on the cart. Right. Your Ana's getting hurt. You're playing on the defensive a little bit more. Cool. Tracer's out. And you know Tracer's out. So keeping people on the payload's good, but also like if your tanks are trying to take space, I want you to help them. They're going ball now. Okay, you're committed to the peel here. Good amp. Right, okay, you're looking for the Ana. You're trying to help your Ana. Do you try to help your Ana?
I'm under attack.
No, you kind of just leave her to die after the beat comes out. Right? Okay, so how could this fight have gone better? I want to look at it back. Right? I keep forgetting how far back I need to go. Right. Okay, so this gets cleaned up. You can't stagger D.Va. Right? Tracer's out. You're kind of stacking card a little heavily, right? Like 3 is all you really need. I'll play this slow, just so I can watch this. All right, you try to prevent the ball from coming in.
It's high tide.
Speeding out, right? What's your boop looking like? Yeah, boop again. Right? Because this tracer's on you, I want you to be thinking about this tracer more, right? I know that you want to shoot and get things going, right? But you need to make sure that your Ana isn't getting flanked on.
It's high tide.
Right? Like this tracer's behind you and you're not giving her a rough enough time to force out recall or anything. Right? And your feeder DPS is just not gonna deal with her, right? It's like as helpful as it might be to contribute to killing that lamp or contributing some damage into the fight, right? None of this matters if your support's dead. Right? And you spent none of that time looking at her and she gets in for free and she kills. Right? And there's not a whole lot you can do about Tracer as Lucio, right? It's not, you know, the greatest matchup. You're not Brig, but like it's something, right? It's something that you could have done to help that. Yeah. Right. So you haven't really thought about how to use your boop. Your engagement and disengagements are okay, right? But it hasn't been the most helpful in the case of Peel, right? Your Ana is so stationary and they're running a lot of different things that can flank or get angles on her, right? Or something that will jump her in general. You gotta do something about that, right? That's your responsibility. Because who else is gonna be able to do that? Zarya? Zarya's gonna be enabling the Rhine. Your Echo, unreliable, right? Your Echo's not done anything to help you all game. At that point, you should recognize that, right? There's a lot more that you can be doing to help out Ana here. In my personal opinion, at least. Because Ana's not getting help from anybody, right? Tanks are doing tank things. DPS are just throwing their bodies into high ground. There's only so much that they can do, right? So I think if you had kept your Ana alive, you would have had at least a little bit more sustainability in that fight that could have turned it, right? It's okay that you're trying to shoot at Lamp because it's something to shoot at, but more importantly is you need to be keeping your Ana alive too, right? Support's got to help supports too.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Right. So it looks like they're going to run the same thing here with the Tracer, right? So again, you need to be mindful of the same thing, right? You need to be, what I want you to be doing is I want you to be helping, you're running D.Va here instead. Okay. So you don't have bubble, which is going to make this a little bit more difficult, but either when your team is engaging, right, be pushing the enemy whoever, like into your Rhine, right? the aggressive boops when you have the cooldowns available to do so and the resource available to do so, right? If you're engaging, you need to be making sure that you're messing up their positioning enough that that's something that your tank can collapse on, right? You make it easier on the tank without feeding. That's something I want to see. And then uh peeling for the Ana, right? They got Diva, they got Tracer, and depending on how drugged up this Lucio is, right? Like you may have a Lucio on your Ana, right? Who knows?
Nothing's gonna stop. 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
All right, you're not going for the door hold.
Stop the pain.
Okay, you're not gonna be able to do much to help your Widow, right? You need to be playing with your front line. That's a very weird amp, right? You've helped yourself close the distance, but like your team was engaging without amp, right? Like let's go back to this.
Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
Right, so that pick happens. Good on them, right? Your team is leading. Your team is leading you, and you're amping to catch up, right? You have fallen out of sync with your tanks, right? But it's good that now you're sticking to the Rhine. Oh my God, you could have gotten punched for that if he wasn't so low, right? Let the Ana worry about the Widow. Yeah, you're ready to bail out this Rhine. Because this Rhine currently thinks that you're helping him. Alright. Checking for Yana. Alright, you know someone's behind you. Hopefully you calm that. I think that's Diva. Is it Diva behind you? Yeah, Diva just went behind you. Okay, so you should be aware that Diva's on the flank, right? Right? So you're aware that Diva's on the flank and you hear the Tracer. Your tanks are engaging, right? I want to look at your Ana. I want to look at your Ana and see what she encounters, right? Alright, so she plays up with you, trying to heal the team. Okay, what's gonna happen here? Oh, you got killed here, but your Ana's now getting harassed by the Tracer, right? Because Ana's been getting shoehorned around. So let's see what happens in this fight, right? All right, you know someone's behind you. All right, that's kind of a waste of amp, right? What are you amping to do there? Right, think about this cooldown. Who does this help? Alright, you take a bunch of damage because you're not playing behind cover. You kind of just vibe for a bit. Your Ana can heal you up, right? Like your Ana is definitely in a position to heal you up, right? And she does so. You gotta help your Ana, and then you amp to go in, right? Like it seems like you are just not in tune with. Yeah, you're trying to help the tanks engage, but you're lagging behind, right? It's like how much value are they getting out of that? If they've already closed the distance, why are you trying to speed boost them, right? Because they're taking it right to the face. So not only are you amping speed, right, to help them feed faster, right? You aren't. You're now down a cooldown that you're gonna need to keep this fight going, especially if the Ana's getting chased, right? Right, which I don't even think they received this. But like they've closed the distance. The fight has started, right? And now you don't have amp for here, right? Like look, your team needs help. Your team needs help, and you use amp because you're trying to close the distance because you weren't ready, right? Now that could be due to many things, right? That could be due to your tanks not talking to you not talking to your tanks, right? Just miscommunication. Maybe no one's in VC, right? A lot of it comes down to communication and coordination, but what's happening at the end of the day is you're wasting these cooldowns because you are lagging behind, right? And then you stop paying attention, and this Rhine just T-bones you from behind, and you have to start exchanging insurance information, right? Want to see this? Right. We'll watch it slower. Okay. Yeah, you need to be on heals here. Right? You see that your team needs help, your Ana's not gonna be able to do enough about that. And then you look at that, you're looking for the noon, right? And you're trying to hide away from the high noon, which you know where he is, right? Like because you just saw him. You know where he is, right? So now you've wound up in this position, right? You could be trying to speed your tanks around. You could be trying to play with your diva, right? There's definitely things that you can do that don't require you being at the spawn door. But again, you've fallen out of sync with your tanks, right? You've fallen out of sync with your tanks, and because your focus is somewhere else, that guy T-bones you, right? Bam. Squished, right? So I'm not gonna say that the team lost the fight because of what you did, but I will say that the cooldown management has definitely weakened your team and put them into compromising positions, right?
No one can hide from my sight.
Okay. What's the situation here? So the only thing that they've been able to come up on is window because they just use high noon. Presumably they've just used shatter on something. You have Doomfist, you have sights up, you have shatter, right? You should be trying to speed your Rhine in, and look for these shatters, right? All right. So why were you falling behind again? All right, what are you scared of right here? I wanna look back. What are you scared of?
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
All right, your Doomfist is trying to get in. Your tanks are trying to get in, right? You need to help get your tanks in so that this push syncs up with your Doomfist, right? But you're playing back here and you hang out here for a while. What are you waiting for, right? Like if you had just pushed, this window is meaningless, right? Watch how he uses it.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
Right. All right. Tanks are going in. You're chilling. You're chilling. Uh-oh. You have to cross over into this now. And your tanks are in, right? Like, do you see where you're positioned? If Kree and Bap are looking this way at you, there's a good chance that they just take you out right here. Now, this window isn't phenomenal, right? I think it's a little early. But either way, like because you hesitated, you run the risk of taking a bunch of damage on the entry. I think you do, right? Right? I wanna watch this. Because anything that hits you through that window is gonna hurt, right? You go down to 15. You go down to 15 getting shot by the McCree through window. And the only reason that window gets value is because you hesitated. Which forces your E, right? So I hope your team doesn't need this, right? Because obviously, you know, they've cleared the distance, but this is a selfish amp because you took so much damage on entry, right? And I hope that your team doesn't get punished for this. Like, look at your Rhine. Your amp's gone. Your Rhine's getting pressured by this Tracer. Now, he's getting healing from you and the Ana, right? And you're keeping eyes out for the Tracer. But, like think about how close that got, right? Think about how close that got because you didn't have E. What? What happened? Where'd that bomb go? Oh, no. Oh my god. Okay. Wait. What? So just because you got booped by Rhine, that kills you? Okay, Doomfist went in too hard. Doomfist. Okay, also, let's go back a little bit. Doomfist thought that your team was gonna push, right? Gary gets blocked. Good eat. All right, Doomfist feeds. Doomfist feeds, right? Your Ryan's taking so much pressure that he has to back out, right, to keep healing. Your Doomfist does not understand the situation, and neither does your Diva. And both of them go in gung-ho to try and, like, continue this fight, right? Then that's not necessarily on you, but the situation is certainly not clear, right? That your Ryan is not able to lead this charge. Which I think your Diva recognizes and bails out of. Right? I am confused about like why you're playing right up front, right? Is it because you think that this is a salvageable fight, right? Is this because you're trying to take the payload? And that boop's just unlucky, right? But you're playing so far forward at a time that I don't think you necessarily need to be, right? And you get punished for it. Not even punished, like you just wind up in a bad spot at the worst time. Right, but I wanna check the cooldowns again, right? And you try to speed yourself out of it, right? But you know you're still on the cooldown from the last E, right? So you're hitting it as soon as you get it. But like you can engage on top of them, right? You can heal that Ryan, right? Like this E has kind of snowballed in more than one way. It's all because you hesitated, right? So I feel bad because I know I've been like ragging on you for like the indecisiveness, and I hate to say that, like, you know, I hate to tear down your confidence and then tell you that confidence is what you need, but like you gotta trust that you're making the right call, right? And you gotta recognize what the right call is gonna be, because when you're not confident about going in, it's costing your team, right? What do you amp? What are you amping here? My parakeet's getting loud again. Yeah, LOL. What is that amp? He says in chat. Yeah, what is that amp? Right? I think you are. I think you think you're playing with Eugene, where his word is law, and you're going, oh, DPS needs healing. I need to amp, right? And you're not. You're playing with randos on the internet, right? Right? Let's look at this. Let's look at this. Who says it? Oh wait, you say here. Let me go back. Right? Okay. Get some pot shots in. Don't really need to do that. You have beat. You hear the Doomfist. I need healing. Doomfist is waiting on your Ana healing, right? Like Doomfist is getting shot by your Ana right now, and you're like, oh, heck yeah, I'm gonna amp it up, right? I'm gonna heal him. I'm gonna be his hero, right? Like you don't need to get that healing in, because you've already got beat. So don't worry about the amp. Like just vibe next to him. Vibe next to him. They're not fully committed to this push yet, right? And they have to get close, right? They're not ready to do anything about this. I mean, they could speed onto you, sure, but like you're gonna want that amp to kite out, right? What are you doing with? All right, cool. So now you're down E. You got 12 seconds. There's a good chance you get your beat forced here because you have to help everyone. All right, Red. Oh. Okay. It's not a whole lot that you could use beat for. I guess you could beat window, right? But like look what happens, right? Uh-oh. My Ryan's getting harassed. I gotta help him, right? And you don't have the E to amp him. Now, you know, regardless, the you and the Ana are disconnected here clearly because you're both throwing support at this, right? But like, okay, your Ryan's gotten pocketed. He's got nano. You probably want to help him close the distance. You're probably gonna win this fight, right? But did you need to be beating here? Like, not really. Right? You're running with your Ryan, you're doing the same thing. He's nanoed, right? And I want to see how much damage he takes, right? I want to see how much damage he takes, just to highlight this point a little bit more. Okay, 12k, or not 12k, geez, 1200 HP, right? And exactly like how much of that is lost to shield, or how much of that shield is lost to damage, right? Who's really focusing him down? Baptiste can't even do enough damage to him, right? This Baptiste is scared. Just heal him, right? Right? Are you gonna be able to bail him out here? All right, you went for the chase.
60 seconds.
Okay, what's your honor die to? All right. Right, okay. You're helping the Ryan get the push, that's fine. But like your Ryan going in on this is not on you. I don't know why he's getting so gung-ho. I know he wants to kill this McCree, but like that fight's over. There's really no reason for it. Doesn't extend the fight anymore. But let's see your honor. What are we talking about? Drugged up Lucio. He's got nothing better to do, right? His team's dead. His team's gone. He may as well stagger out the Ana, right? So your Ana's not gonna be able to do healing here. It just gets rolled, right? So now you got people in your back line. You're the only healer now. Okay, you're amping because you're the only one here. Sure. And you're not in a position to taxi back your Ana either. That's okay. Oh, Vol. I don't know how you jumped that. Okay, that amp there wasn't bad. This amp wasn't terrible. Right.
It's high tide.
Right. Samp wasn't bad because you're the only healer there, but I want to see what happens in this room that you could have helped out with, right?
It's high tide.
Okay, you chill out. You should see this Ryan here, right? Could you have booped him, right? How does Ana die to high noon? We'll check in a second, right? You could have booped him. You could have booped him and denied that charge, right? But you weren't thinking defensively here. You were thinking about sustainability with your heals, but you weren't thinking about how to defensively boop in the meantime too, right? Like you should have. I'm gonna go back, right? I want to see if this is something that you observe in this situation. I don't know how Ana dies to high noon though, but I'll check in a second. Yeah, Ryan gets shatter off if you boop there too, and I want to see how big that would have been, right? Because Ana isn't the only person you can peel for, right? Obviously, when we talk about peel, we mean like the squishier targets, right? Okay, you see this Ryan, you should know what he's going for, right? Like, look at that monster in the corner, right? You recognize this. If you boop here, what does Vol hit? Actually, well, what does he hit? I don't know. I actually have to like quarter speed it. Okay, your Ryan at least gets, yeah, he gets Lucio and Ryan here if you boop, right, to win the fight. Yeah, this fight is over if both these two die, right? That could have been you. I think he panic shattered. I think he had more time. Maybe he was expecting you to go for the boop, right? But you saw this and you should have had enough time to react, right? Especially considering you're playing at 4.2. Right, like it's these tiny little timing things that just need to be amped up a little bit more. Pun not intended. How does your Ana die though? Right? Again, I'm only criticizing you this harshly because you told me that's okay, right? I would not be doing this in a normal practice, but like think about the tiny little things that'll give you that edge, right? Because that matters. That matters at the seal. She's over here in the corner. What happened, sir? This Oz has been having a rough day.
It's high tide.
Right? She's trying to help this Ryan. She has no idea. She's so tunnel visioned. Right? She has no idea that he's there because she's tunnel vision on your Ryan.
The payload is approaching its destiny. 30 seconds.
Alright. Cool, you're not chasing it. Oh no, 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 no. Let's look at the kill feed. Right. Actually, let's go back so we can still see the kill feed, right? Okay.
30 seconds.
Ryan died. Ana died. Ana died because she was tunnel vision. Ryan died because you couldn't save him. Kree's down. Bap's down. You win the. Alright. Your feeder DPS is finally doing something, right? McCree's finally doing something with his life. You MTD the Reinhardt here. You're up 2 despite all the misplays because they're just too scattered in this fight. You're up 2. You don't need to chase, right? You see them getting out. There's 20 seconds left, right? I want to hide this. I want to hide this because I want to drive this home, right? Okay, they're in. They're chasing. What are you doing? What are you doing? Right? Your team is at full HP. I don't think they're even going to get anything out of this. You're not speeding them out. You're not speeding them in, right? You've used amp on cooldown. You will have it in the last 5 seconds at the fight. I would be surprised if they weren't. Okay, actually, let's do the math, right? Cooldown now, 12 seconds. They're at 15. They will probably get this fight in the next 10 seconds, and if someone dies because you aren't able to sustain them, that's on you, right? Okay, astonishingly, they haven't gone in, right? They just didn't have it together enough to go in. But like you see how that could have been bad, right? Like you understand what could have happened there if they had decided to go a little bit faster and you were cut off. Okay. Doofus went in. There's nothing you can do to help him. All right. Uh-oh. I see where this is going. Okay, what happens? Yeah, I wouldn't say your cooldown management is garbage. Like you really only have one cooldown as least. Well, okay, that's not true. You've got amp and you've got boop. Right, boop's on 4 seconds. You just need to be smart about how you use them. But like, not every boop is gonna be punishing. Amp is gonna be punishing though, right? Okay, what happens here? Ryan turbo feeds. It's looking like my plat game. Ryan turbo feeds, and your entire team decides that this is who they want to collapse on. Why? Like, you should know he doesn't have Shatter here. I get wanting to get a kill here, but like you can win this fight because there's no Ryan. like you know, Ryan just went into the corner pocket and is now in the back line dueling your Ryan. So like now you're trying to keep up the tanks with this Moira. What happens here? I don't know what your team's doing here. Right? I really disagree with that. You just go on the BAP. Right? Like in this situation, you should go on the BAP, right? Let's look at the field again. Right? Oh. Right. Okay. In this circumstance, you no longer have to worry so much about Tracer because you're on a slot to Moira, so it's not a huge deal about the Tracer anymore. I would be more focused on enabling your Ryan and Diva a little bit. Right? Okay. I don't know why they go here. but your McCree gets killed because he's out of position. You're now frontlining on the point. You beat to keep the fight going. Actually, is your team able to get that? Ryan's not, right? And were you in a position where you needed to use it? Okay, not the best situation for yourself. I can understand the beat here, but still. Right. Okay. Finally dodged the bomb. This is just chaos. Okay. Where'd you lose that amp? You lose that amp trying to speed away from the bomb because you've learned your lesson. But are you aware that you're Ryan shielding this, right? Like, how little confidence do you have in your Ryan to protect you here? I'll go back. Right? You can just keep him up and save that amp. And what's your team at? Right? Your team's a little worse for wear here. Like, think about healing your team, right? Keep this fight going. Especially considering, like, is this Moira? Yeah, Moira's all the way out here, right? We use this cooldown, right? And your Ryan gets melted. Your Ryan gets melted because you tried to speed away because you didn't have confidence in your ability to avoid the bomb based off of the last two, right? Does that seem fair? Is that like a fair assessment of what's going on? And then you don't have anything to keep your team up, right? So the crossfade, or not crossfade, the amp it up ability really needs some work here. It's just like sometimes you're using it and you could be getting punished for it. Sometimes you are getting punished for it, and sometimes you're using it in situations that are like more self-centered, like, oh, I need to get in, oh, I need to get away, and it's costing your team, right? Like you're a very team-oriented hero, and you're not helping them in the way that I think you should be, with Lucio. So be mindful about what it is that's happening and why it's happening. Let's look at Anubis because you win this one, and this is hopefully a BAP game.
Now entering the temporary.
Like, does that make sense, Michael? Do you think that's a fair assessment of what's happened so far?
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Yeah, and management is something I need to work on. Yeah, I agree. Right? It's not the worst I've seen. Right? I mean, like I've torn your confidence down a little bit, I feel, but like there's a reason you're in 4.2, right? Like, because clearly you're good enough to be in 4.2, but the amp management is something that will, get you up to 4.3, right? So there's times where you're getting no value out of it.
3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Okay, let's see this. So Baptiste, Lucio, Hog, Doom, Kree, and Muma. All right. Well, you know how Muma plays, so get that in more ready. So you're running this into almost mirror, except instead of Doom, they're running. Okay, so they're running a much more brawl comp, right? So like looking at what they're running, we've seen this before, right? Like we've seen this make Kree brawl before. We've done this in King's Row. What is the win condition here? What is the win condition for the other team? Hopefully you're putting it in the chat right now. But right, so they have the speed boost, they have the wall, they have the Ranzaria, Blizzard. Not inherently, right? Like, think about what it is that we do on King's Row, right? What is it that we're looking for on King's Row? When you have speed boost Ryan and you're trying to wall out in a Ryan mirror, right? Oftentimes you're gonna be walling off a target and kill them, right? It's that simple. So looking at this, you need to be aware that that's what's going to happen as soon as you see this comp, right? Because we played this and we rock at this. So, and it's Nero, right? He's not going to miss walls. So you need to be in a position where you're not going to be the one getting walled off, and you need to be able to help the people who are getting walled off, right? Typically, that's going to be with your immortality field. I don't think that there's too many circumstances in which shift is going to be enough to heal them, right? But I'm going to be a little scared if you're doubling up on both of these, right? Because this comp is going to, I think, out-sustain you. Right? Okay. Let's look at this fight. Right? What happens? What do they do here? They wall someone off. Right? Just like you just said. They wall someone off. It's Muma, right? He's got a couple of options, right? He can move to either side. He's in a position where you can help him. He's not in immediate danger, right? Because this wall isn't phenomenal. But are you going to be able to help him, right? I don't know if that shift even connects with him, right? And where's your McCree in this meanwhile? Your McCree's the one getting rushed, right? Because this wall's bad and then McCree's out of position. So your McCree gets rushed and they throw an immortality where they need a fight. I don't like that immortality, right? They really don't have any confidence in their sustainability. So I think that immortality is early. This immortality is also a little bit weird. Like I see that you're trying to save let me go back. Right? I see that you're trying to save your Rhine, right? But like clearly your Rhine's not gonna die, right? Based off the circumstance. You kept him up, right? Where could your Immor go? Right? Other than that corner. Right? Now this is like a little bit protected. Because they're so far forward. But then like your Rhine's not even gonna be playing in that, right? Because your Rhine plays here, he's gonna have his back against the wall anyways, right? So making him play here is not great either. So that Immor is getting no value, right? Because not only does it not save anyone, you're not even creating a zone for them to fight in. My parakeet's getting angry. All right. So now you're on the back foot and you don't have Immor here, right? And you're going to tiny room. Oh my god. Ooh. I want to look at your shift too. Your shift usage is kind of poor. Right. I don't know how that doesn't help you, right? But like shift would have been really good a little bit later, right? I have to turn off the objective capture sounds too because they're giving me a migraine. Sick. Okay. I don't know how that shift doesn't help you, right? But now you don't have it. And now your Rhine doesn't have it either. You didn't use your shift. Yeah, you're just trying not to die in the wall. I was like, WTF? Yeah, I don't understand what's happening there too, right? Like Immor would have been good there. Shift a little bit later would have been good there, right? And now you have nothing to work with, and you're in this tiny room, right? Right. Throw it down as soon as you get it. Try and make it work. Get blasted, right? So where does this snowball? Like, what's the exact moment where this messes up? Right. If we look back at this fight, what's the nail in the coffin from the get-go? Kree dies because he doesn't get healing. I don't know why Ulysses here. He tries to bail him out, right? But like, what's a better position for you to be in right now than where you were? Right, as soon as you know they're coming here, where should you be? And now that you know what they have, where should you be? On the high ground, yeah. Like, this this definitely gives you full range of vision, right? And you won't get rushed down. But like you're not gonna be able to do anything down here. You have to keep jumping up. Even here would be okay, right? Even here would be acceptable because you can at least like, I'm gonna wait for this wall to come up. You can at least sneak some shots in there, right? Like even this position would have been good and you would have had the sustainability. But you like jump out and you land on the low ground, and I don't think you, I don't know if you try to correct it, right? Panic shift comes out. I don't think it does too much, right? And then like you kind of hop around thinking about the other targets, right? I'm gonna watch this back again, right? Notice how you're moving. You shift, you block your head, and then you're trying to heal these guys. And you jump again, and you throw your lamp, and you drop back down. Like you've never taken the high ground, but you've had time to, right? So I think you mostly just panicked here. I don't understand what's happening in this moment. And also, let's see this in more, right? One second. 1 second. 1 second, the Lucio goes aggro and kills your Lucio, right? Like, what if you had committed to that Immort earlier on your Ryan? If you thought Immort would have been the solution to that Ryan not getting killed immediately, you probably wait out the wall. You can save your shift for your team when they need it, right? You don't have to wait for your team to be forced in this corner for you to get value out of it. And you have it in time here. If you do end up in this position and nothing changes about the way you use your cooldowns, right? You're able to save that Lucio. I don't know if that makes a difference or not in this fight, right? But it's things that can make the difference. And it's the same thing that we talked about with the Lucio, is just that confidence, right?
New defense point. Objective B.
How does shift work? Shift provides you with oh gosh, I don't remember the range. Does it only heal the people within range when casted? Yes. So basically what shift does is it applies regen to everyone in the certain AoE, and I believe it helps them with their I'm gonna look this up just to make sure I'm giving you the right info. Does it only heal the people within range when casted? So shift, regenerative burst, 15 seconds. Hopefully this shows up on stream, right? Yeah, it looks like it showed up. So 15 HP per second, but 30 for yourself. So what this does is it gives your team just like a little bit of healing, right? But it's AoE, so it's kind of like Lucio. And then when they're out of range after the cast, they're fine. So you want to use this like when you can hit people, and then you're good. And it's a 75 overall because it's 15 HP per second. Right, and for 5 seconds. So for 5 seconds, they're getting 15 HP per second. So you can shift when you're in range, and then people leave. Yeah, you can't cast out LS and walk into your teammate, right? It's not like crossfade. So you have to use this right next to people, pretty much. And then the range is 10 meters, which I don't know. I don't know exactly what that looks like. But it's like a little bit more than your Immor, right? I thought that's how it worked. That's fine, right? Like a lot of times, like looking at lower tier Baptiste, like they don't know how it works either. Now you know, right? Like, okay, so now you know how the shift works. So like this is a decent bailout. Or you just need to keep a little bit of sustain. You don't want to be doubling down on both, right? If you can avoid it. Or if you do use Immor and then shift just to keep the fight going, like that's the most sustainable way you can do it. No, it's not like Lucio Aura at all. It's a one-time instant cast that sustains itself. Right, so now you know. Right, so like let's look at this. Right. Who's in range of this?
Someone has to keep
Okay,
you alive.
so now you're gonna get 30 HP per second for 5 seconds, right? And I think this this Doomfist got hit. You can see the little sparkle here. So Doomfist got hit, so he'll have a little bit of regen for the next 5 seconds, right? I don't know if May got hit by it, so May's gonna get a little bit of regen for the next 5 seconds. So it's like okay-ish, right? In terms of who like you're actually getting people with it, but you're not getting it at an opportune time. You're using it for self-preservation.
Let them up.
Interesting wall. Nice fire strike. Cool. Yeah, good. When do you use this wall?
Someone has to keep you alive. Let them up.
Yeah, Ryan's right up in your face. Like, they're committed to this push. Like, they want to go in, and you still got a wall that they can work around, right? Now, you know, ideally, you don't make Muma move around to hit this, right? Because they can still close the distance. They still have the option to push through it if they so desired. But they wall it off and they're trying to back out, right? They're still respecting it, and like you're still able to get things done here, right? Especially because you're shooting through it. Oh my god, that Lucy was not expecting to get rolled like that, right? But you should win off the back of this, right? And it's not a big deal. It's your panic window because I see they're pushing. That's still fine, right? Like that's okay. Like I think it's a good window. You got value out of it, and you ended this fight. Like you won this fight for your team. You did a good time. Okay. I don't agree with this. They're down 3. You use your Immor to save Muma, right? If the Lucio can't heal them up, their respawn timer is going to be half the time that it takes you to use this Immor, right? Like they will be set up in time if they died right there. Like you should get your immortality back at a time where you need it, but like, okay, imagine if you had Immor here, right? All right, you don't get punished for it. That's good. I don't think you're close enough for that shift to work. Right? See it. Like it's not terrible, and your heart's in the right place when you do something like that, but it's not the optimal thing. I'm gonna play this slower just so I can see, right? You think it's like Lucio Aura, and you think it's like that the whole game? Yeah, that makes sense, right? Okay. Right. So Immor, good, right? Like even if they're not gonna die here, there's a good chance that they do, right? Just if they opt to push into this, this is what's gonna keep that team alive, right? Like you have to make the call in the moment, and this is fine, right? Even if it doesn't matter at the end of the day, like there's a chance it could have. So I don't mind that lamp. Right? You shift, you hit the Zarya. I don't know if you hit the Mei. No, Mei's outside the line of sight. And I don't think you hit Muma either. Right? Does Moira have the not Moira. Does Zarya have the nice little sparklies? Yeah, she does, right? So go back. Right. Okay. So maybe that immortality wasn't the greatest move, right? If you had known how shift worked in this game, there's a good chance that you could have just out healed, especially with your Zarya having bubble and being safe. There's a good chance that you could have out healed just using your right click and your shift, right?
Immortality bubbles down.
The team gets too greedy here, right? And now you don't have either cooldown to help them, right? This is arguably a better time to be using Immor. I understand why you made the call off of the Mei ult, right? next time don't do that, right? Like that's the only advice I have, because I said earlier it was a good call in that moment, right? But because you used it, they have this opportunity now, right? And now you have neither cooldown to work with. Right? Use one or the other. Try not to double down on both. Unless you absolutely have to. And you got the Kree. What? Wait. Wait. Do you not see the Maywall? Huh? Huh? Oh no, man. Well, okay. Let me put it like this. At least you really wanted to help the Rhine, and you were so blindly following him that he knew you had him, right? Muma knows that no matter where he goes or what team he plays for, he knows that Radia's got him. Because this dude sees critical and he's like, I gotta let that, right? I gotta save Muma from himself. Right? That's the best thing I can say about that. And then you use your shift again, right? You use your shift. I don't know if it's, you're trying to keep a Lucio aura, but your team has beat. You've just used lamp and use your shift, right? We're back to the cooldown management. This ain't bad, right? Right, you have to ult. Window charges fast. Right. Cool. You win it, right? It costs you a lot, but you win it, right? But you win it more by luck, I think, than anything else, right? Just by the sheer nature of everyone dying before they had started taking the point, right? Like the fact of the matter is, they had time for you to come back no matter what, right? They beat really early. They beat really early to keep the fight going. But then everyone plays really separate, right? So this Ryan gets taken out. This Lucio's in no place to be helped. Tracer is on the flank. These two are not even like ready to help. So this Blizzard's actually massive. So your mate kind of wins this for your team. If only because, like, Baptiste decides that, okay, Lucio's the one I have to save and not the Rhine, right? Everyone's just not in a position to do anything. Who's in this grab? Alright. Alright, you used every ult that you had. But you didn't lose a point, so whatever.
Let's see a smile.
Yeah, everyone press Q. Grandmaster game, by the way.
All better. Now.
No, but I mean, like, I'd rather you press Q if it's the last fight than save it for Overwatch 2, right? Especially because they used a lot of their own too, right? You got beat out, you got shatter out, you got grab in the previous fight. You know what they don't have, right? So now it's Blizzard window into Doom ult, right? You should know how to play around both of those. Where'd your shift go?
All better.
Alright.
Now. Regen up.
And for what? Because you weren't confident that you're gonna hit that right click? Like, what does this achieve, right? Like this isn't even contingent on you knowing how it works, right? Even if you think it's like Lucio aura, like you can hit that shot. They haven't pushed in yet. Glad that he doesn't get walled there. You don't have it here though, which would have been a good time to use it. And because you didn't have it there, you used your Immor, right? You use your Immort against Window Blizzard. And you're not going to have it. Like, because you didn't have the cooldown that you wanted, you used the other cooldown to save someone who would have been okay, and then you didn't have it for when it mattered, right? You panic cooldowns. I wanted to go back to the actual bit, right? Look at this. You shift there. You shift there to heal everyone who's already at full, right? Your team is at full besides your Ryan, and you can farm Window off of this Ryan, right? It's Muma. You can farm ults off of him as a support. I say that as if I'm better than him. I'm not better than Muma, but right. But now you're using this as a bailout. You're using this as a bailout when they've messed up their push already, and you're maze walling them off, right? And the awareness about the situation is not phenomenal. Alright, at least you got your cooldowns back. Team's brute forcing. God, please don't use your Immor here. Alright, just farm your Window. Cool, okay. I don't know how your team clutches that up. I kinda wanna see actually. How's your team win this? Zarya gets out, Mei survives. Oh, they use their lamp really early too. Alright, Doomfist gets a kill. Wait, your Doomfist is kind of popping. Wait, your Doomfist is owning. Wait, I found Eugene Smurf. He's popping.
My ultimate is charging.
I have found the enemy. Come and face me.
Yeah, I bet that Bap wishes he had Immor there.
My ultimate is charging.
Good. 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 That's actually really good. Right? Let's watch this fight back.
My ultimate is charging.
I'm gonna slow it down a little bit. Grandmaster's too fast for my old man eyes. Okay. You're not gonna be able to help that dude. That's fine. Right? Kite this. Right? Windows out, you dodge. You shift, right? Your lamp missed by a little bit. No, this is okay. Honestly, like you didn't save the Zarya because of this pin. Or, well... What? Wait. Oh, I see. Yeah, your lamp is a little off, actually. I didn't notice that. What happens there? Right. Okay. Using shift to help out the Ryan. He's the only one hurt. You've got both healers pocketing him. You didn't waste Immor there. Good, right? Like that's good. You have it for grab, and you're throwing it in a protected position from this grab, right? Like they're not gonna be able to shoot it. The issue with it is that it's like just perfectly out of LOS, right? Like here would have been fine. So that's just a matter of like you gotta hit those, right? But I can't fault your cooldown usage, which is what I've been harping on you like all stream about, right? Like the ult usage was good, right? You had it ready. I want to see how you jump this shatter. Oh my god, you don't even jump the shatter. You land right into it. What?
Огонь по готовности.
What happened? Oh, you're like just behind it. Dude, this is why dude, Ryan's got the worst ult in the game, I swear. That's messed up. That's messed up. Like he literally only catches Lucio. At least Immor saves you from a shatter, right? Like that's pretty cool. Not intentional. Okay. That was a bad place to perch, right? Alright. So this window's late, right? This window's late because they pushed onto you, right? Did you even have it in time? Sorry, I'm gonna keep going back because it's hard for me to follow this, right? Right. You could have counter windowed, right? A counter window would have been an option because you would have denied this push. Right? Not necessary. You could have windowed here in the interest of out healing, right? And still denying the push, right? You could have windowed the grab. You went for the lamp. You know, very vanilla. Fine, whatever.
Let them up.
And then you're using it here, and then you can't even play it, right? You're not even in a place where you can play it because they've already taken it over, right? Just by nature of where they are. And then you perch up here thinking you're safe, and this guy's right behind you. he's right there. He's right there. Blasted. Right. So just a little bit more mindful about what your situation is, right? Both in terms of ult usage and position.
Score 0-2. Switching.
Ah. Had to stretch a little. All right.
Initiate.
Skip ahead ult.
3,
All right.
2,
Sticking to the map.
1. Attackers.
Looks like the same comp.
Defend objective
Regen up.
A. Ready for 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers.
Huh?
incoming. Defend objective A.
That hurts. Why? What is your Doom doing, bro?
Defend objective
How does this Bap get a kill too?
Get it done. Get it.
enemy corner.
Oh my god. Okay. Why is your Lucio up there? Whatever. This push is over, right? Don't care how good of a Bap you are, you can't out heal stupid.
All better.
You can try. Alright, you're out.
I'm at fighting condition. Regen up.
What is even happening here? What's even happening? Okay, so you've used your cooldowns. Yes, I understand that you're upset, Parakeet. I am too. I don't know what happened.
All better.
Alright. You use lamp to get out, right? Sure. Death isn't the worst option here, right? Your team has already messed up enough, right? And you're going to try and push before that timer.
I'm at fighting condition.
Alright? You didn't need to use that shift there, right? The best way for them to not take damage is to just play cover. If you're not ready to push yet. And you're definitely not ready for something to happen to you because you don't have Immort. God, you can tell this is an NA team by the way you're running it down mid. What is happening? Okay. Want to see this, right? So your team is definitely not ready to be pushing in, right? Zarya's not leading. Like you and your Lucio are leading more than your Zarya is here, right? And you're all taking different routes. Use your shift to bail out Lucio because he just ran down mid. Again, he wasn't pushing with his Ryan, right? Nobody knows what the situation is here. Again, you're blindly following Muma, right? You're out in the open. Nero just picks you off, and I think you just get shot because you get booped up, right? Like there's no coordinated push here, right? What could have happened better? Besides you not using your cooldowns, like all you need to do, right? It's almost better that you die, and this is coming from a plat perspective. It's almost better that you die because at least your team will know to wait, right? Your team will regroup, which sounds so stupid, right? But like, at least your team will be ready, right? If they just wait on you, let them twiddle their thumbs for a bit. I don't even care. I would have absolutely just let myself die there and let them just regroup. Right, just let him. You've lost that fight. You've lost that fight, and like you haven't fully reset yet, and your cooldowns are gone before you're even in the poke phase. You're losing cooldowns in the attempt to regroup. Right? What goes wrong with this push? Why is your Mei there? Oh, Junkrat Mine boops everyone. Okay. Right. All right. You're chilling. You're chilling here, right? You can see this team move. All right. You see them chasing after your Rhine. Right? And now I get that you want to heal your Rhine, but you should know better than to play that. If you really wanted, you can play here, right? Not great, but not terrible. But like, I want you to see where you're running. I'm gonna. Hey, look at me! Look at me! Look at me! Please, look at me running through, right? Like, you are asking to get damage at a time that you don't have cooldowns. Like, let's watch from the almighty Nero himself, right? The Emperor. You are so free. You're so free by running out like that. Yeah, you can just heal, right? You don't need to be right behind him. Again, you're following Muma to the ends of the earth, and for what, right? I don't know how your team's still in this, besides the Doom just hard carrying. Right? No. They've lost the high ground, right? You're walking back, right? Doom carry part 2, yeah, electric boogaloo. Right, Doom dies. But he's not support, right? Okay. Hopefully here, because this is GM, you should know that they're fighting on point, right? You should know where everybody is. You can heal up here, right? Take this high ground. Right? Who are the threats? The Junkrat's trying to hold point. Junkrat's not here, right? I don't know where. All right, Ryan's dead, so like they're not gonna be able to hold a position that isn't covered, right? They can't be out in the open unless they're on the point, right? I guess you don't know where the McCree is, but like, why are you trying to lob the shot? Just stay on the high ground, right? You could play this and be fine. I hope you move there. Right? I mean, it doesn't really matter. Your Zarya hard carries, right? And here your team's going in, so like, yeah, you need to regroup, at least for this, right? But you can take the high ground at least for a moment. Just ignore the Kree. I want to see a little bit more of as well weaving in your shots, right? It's gonna be so devastating to this team if that Rhine shield breaks and Muma has shatter, right? We haven't talked about this a lot. I haven't really been thinking about it too much because I'm more focused on your cooldowns between your Lucio and your Bap. But think about how much it's going to help if you just get a little bit more pressure in, right? Right, let's play this in half. Right, you're shooting shield. You're healing. I guess you heard Doomfist and you shifted just in case, right? Right, you're trying to be prepared with it. That's a decent time to use regen burst. Not the best, but decent, right? But now heal, shoot, right? Right. That's not bad. I have to look at this a little bit faster, actually. Right. You missed like 3 different opportunities where you could have been shooting shields. I'm like, that's because you don't have an easy target as BAP. Like that's probably the best thing that you could be doing, right? As well as shooting your healer's feet. Like you should be at least putting a little bit more pressure onto the shield, right? What is the Rhine at? Okay, well he hasn't taken that much pressure, so it's like it's not gonna be breaking anytime soon, but it's something you can do. Right. Yeah, help your Rhine. Okay. So Doom catches you off guard. Nobody dealt with him in the back line. Team might win this. Alright, they're giving you ticks. I presume you just swapped to Moira for speed here. Dead again. Alright, your team just caps it. Right? So, I want to go back to the fight. I'll go back to the fight for the things that matter. That's not the fight at all. Right, okay. So regen's kicking in as they're pushing, so the damage that they take is non-essential, or it's like not terrible, right? But like here when they're starting to fight, this is where I would prefer the shift to happen, right? Because you haven't actively taken damage from behind you. But like now they're gonna start engaging, right? Giving them that little bit of regen gives them the edge. Right? Like it would have kept your Rhine up just a little bit longer. Help your Rhine. Yeah, Doomfist just gets a jump on you. Because nobody was checking for him, right? Like you heard him too. You heard him too. Yeah, it's a little bit like rally. Like you can use it like rally for sure. But just like, it's all about knowing how it works, right? You use it very often in the pre-fight, yeah. And your team just kind of brute forces it, so.
Ready for battle.
Alright. It looks like they're gonna go for the same thing again, right? Except they're not running the Kree now, they're running Doom. So I think even more so they're gonna look to jump your backline, right? Which is basically you. They want to force out your Immor as early as possible. And they're gonna do the wall thing again, right? I think it's easier to read that they're gonna do the wall thing again. So I want to see if you've adapted better in this fight, because I know you win this map, right? I want to see if you've adapted faster in this fight than you did in the last one, right? Right. Interesting wall. Prevents you from killing them on the push. They don't know what you have. Sure. Right. Okay. They can't wall you out here. And you've established the rage gauge. Awesome. Alright, you're doing a little bit greedy with it. Okay. Okay. You use the shift pre-fight. not terrible here because they're about to get on top of you, right? That shift's okay. I think that shift's okay. Yeah, focusing on heals, good, right? I was about to say, I'm glad you're not tempted to use immortality just because there's a big old mosh pit going on in this room, right? If you wanted to wrap up this fight truly, you could immort in main, right? But like this fight's pretty much over as soon as the wall comes out, right? So just holding on a little bit longer would have been fine. You didn't have to use it, right? And your shift doesn't do enough to heal you, right? So I think it's just Nero doing Nero things. Clearly there's a reason he's on the shock and we're not, right? But like, if your Ryan had gotten walled off there, and you throw an Immor in the corner, he's screwed, right? He's screwed and they can re-push into this. Alright, now you're down. And even though they're getting kills, right? Even though they're getting kills, they are going to be able to reset this fight faster than you. Because while you're waddling back from spawn, right, Lucio's going to be right in the fight. Now, it doesn't help that they're trickling, right? And your Lucio is kind of a G, taxing you back, right? But while he's bailing you out, right, you don't have healing for this fight. All right, so your Immor gets forced yet again. All right, like you're trying to keep the fight going. I don't mind this Immor given the situation, but recognize that this situation is because of mistakes you made earlier. I think he was outside of range there. You do kind of treat like Lucio Aura. Right. Alright. Lucio taxing you back makes you want to use this Immor. Right. But you're in a better position than you were in the last fight, right? You're kind of where we were talking about when we were looking at the first attack phase, right? And like see how little pressure you're under, relatively speaking, right? But I don't like this. I don't like this as because you get picked, right? You're not gonna be able to hold up here, but who's gonna prevent you from being up here, especially when that Doom's in, right? Try to do what you can. You play really far in, like it's Lucio. Right? And so this pick that they got on you early on, right, because you decided to go aggressive, and the Immor was used at a weird spot, at a weird time, right? That pick snowballs. And now they have point A. Right? Again, not to put all the blame on you, but you see how you can prevent that, right? Yeah. High ground's your friend for sure. Like, what? What? Like, there's an argument to be made about, oh, projectile travel time, yada yada. Like, I want to be lower, right? Yeah, straight up, dude. These are some Fortnite kids, dude. Building up walls. Yeah, you're. Yep, you got Doom. Lamp better. Actually, is it better? Yeah, Muma's alive, right? Lamp good. Lamp good. Thumbs up, right? A little excessive on the ults. That's okay. They use Shatter. You know they use Grav, right? They still have Window. They still have a lot of other stuff to work with, right? So maybe a little bit much, but you cleaned it up, right? You cleaned it up and you didn't use everything. That Doom is a dead man. Ego duel against Nero? Ego duel against Nero? Happens. I hate how aggressive this is. I hate how aggressive this is because it forces you to run back, and now your team is so split, right? I I hate how aggressively you held that. I get why you do it, but I didn't like it, right? Because now Movement's trying to save his biggest fan here, right? Do you have any more? Right? Not the worst time for a selfish anymore, right? But you also took this fight right down main. Fun fact, after taking that fight and dying, I was yelling at myself because I had lamp and didn't use it. Yeah, I mean, like, maybe he could have punched you out, right? Or you could have waited it out. But
Science will reveal
where's
the
swap? Please tell me this isn't a 6 CP map.
Get into position.
Bad bounce. God, you really just egoed that dude. Oh my god. I'm amazed that nobody's focused it down yet. Skill orb, nice. Nice. Not bad. Kinda carried as Moira.
Score 2-3. Switching sides. Initial. Ready for battle.
Okay.
Defend objective A.
What just happened?
Ready for battle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Regen up!
Ready for battle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
What even hits you? Oh. You've lost 45 health, right? Doesn't Lucio heal that up in the time that takes you to get to front? Isn't he on heals? No, he's on speed. Okay, whatever. 4.2, by the way. Yeah, so your cooldown that you wouldn't need for your engagement is now gone. Right. There's a very good chance that you lose this first push. Alright, not terrible. That shifts early. That shifts early, and it's because that you're down health, right? Because, let's see, when did you use it? What's the time? What's the time when you use it? 2, 1. Right off cooldown. 406 you use it, right? So at 401, everybody's gonna stop getting regen. .401, you are just now committing to this push with no regen, right? A little early. Good wall. Okay, bail out the Rhine, keep the fight going. I don't mind that. I want to see the last shift actually because I missed it. Again, I have to watch this at half speed. All right, shield's gone. Heal him up. Shift's okay. Shift isn't bad. You're in the middle of a fight. You need help, right? Yeah, you're reloading like that. You're reloading, and this is what's gonna keep the fight going, right? Good call. If this is behind you, you hear that? Take the high ground here? Question mark. Good shift. Right? That shift meant something, right? Even if it was a one fight, that shift at least meant something there, right? Like you know how to use it. Right? Window fire strike, open this fight up. Okay, you learned from the mid pushes, but wall's not good here. Let's get back to that. Alright, where does shift go? Yeah, you see Zarya down, you use it, but I think she's outside of the area that's gonna help her, right? Oh no, I guess she's in it. Alright. Yeah. Okay, so shift's gone here because you're trying to help the Zarya recover HP for the push. Right. A little early on the window. Right? And you're front lining. Their window is terrible though. Their window is terrible. I'm gonna actually look back at this. Right. Okay, running through. Playing safe mostly. I mean, up until here, right? Okay. They throw fire strike early to try and catch you out. You use window. They use window. They use window and your team's already pushing past it, right? This window is terrible. Like your window is so much superior because it lets you get in. And I don't know if it gets you a pick or not. But at the very least, like you're gonna be able to heal a little bit more through it, and that matters, right? And you're gonna keep this fight sustainable. Right? Alright, you try to heal their Baptiste. Okay, good. That last push was pretty decent, right? So to recap basically everything that we've gone over tonight, right? The major critical things that we need you to work on are going to be the cooldown management, right? Knowing how you want to get them in. The positioning was okay for most of this, right? You weren't playing anywhere that you're going to be super exposed. There's a couple positioning issues on Lucio when you were hanging back and you just weren't confident in your calls, right? So yeah, I think one of how do I even phrase this? Okay, for Lucio specifically, I need you to be aware of when your team is trying to push and how you're going to peel for them, right? Using your boop a little bit more wisely, reading the situation, understanding how to better enable your team. That's what I need you to do on Lucio specifically. For Baptiste specifically, I want you to think about when you're using your cooldowns, right? And this goes back to Lucio too. But for Baptiste, I want you to weave in your shots a little bit more, right? There's times where you can be doing a little bit more pressure, and that will be really helpful for spam comps like double shield if that comes back up again. Right? Having Baptiste spam down shields along with the rest of the team is going to be really, really crucial because it all comes down to who has worse shields, right? So working on weaving that in a little bit more. For both heroes, you definitely need to work on understanding the cooldowns. Or for Baptiste specifically, you need to work on understanding the cooldown a little bit better, which I think, we reviewed it, so you should understand that now. For both heroes, be aware when you're using your cooldowns, right? You're kind of just using them off cooldown, to put it bluntly, right? And you're not using them at the grace intervals. So positioning for the most part is okay, right? You definitely correct some stuff as Baptiste. But you do play very much like what's in front of you, like what do I need to be focusing on, and you're always kind of looking in front of you. It's not tunnel vision per se, but you're not thinking about the macro level implications, but you also didn't get punished very hard for your macro level implications, or for the macro level positioning, you didn't get punished very hard. So it's like not the worst thing in the world. Um, and the last thing I want you to work on is being a little bit more confident, right? Which, again, like this is kind of this went between review and roast session, so I understand that like it's not gonna be easy to just be confident, like, oh, just be confident, forehead, right? It doesn't work like that. But trusting yourself, right? Your heals and what you can output, instead of trying to use hyper long cooldowns as a bailout, right? You're using immortality as a crutch, and you're using shift as a crutch, more than you need to be, because you like maybe you're not sure that you're gonna hit that shot, or you think they're going to push, but you're not sure. So just in case, I'm gonna immor, right? No, you need to save that immor for grab, right? You know they have grab. You know that they have things that they can throw at you. Um, be aware of that, right? And I think for the most part, that you need to save, ult for things, or you need to save lamp for things. Um, but it keeps getting forced out because I don't think you're confident enough in your ability to heal, or in your teammate, right? Because yes, it is bad if your Ryan were to die there, but it's worse if you don't have um, immortality, right? And there's other ways to. It goes back to opportunity cost, right? Like if you've ever studied economics, right? Opportunity cost, you make a decision, and the opportunity cost is what was the next best thing because you did that, right? And so what ends up happening is, you used immortality for, and let me go back to it, right? You use immortality for the 2 in Blizzard, right? Let's see if I can find that timestamp. So like right here. When was it? When they run May? Am I done?
Ready. 10 seconds remaining.
No, this isn't it. It might be done. Where is it? I want to find this. No, it must have been really early. Yeah, because he just swapped. Right? Right here. So like 3 minutes. Okay, yeah, thank you.
Get in here.
What's the opportunity cost of using this lamp right now? Right? So what have you gained by using lamp? You've saved your Rhine and you've saved your May from this blizzard, right? But given how the last fight went, how much time they have and how much damage they've done, what do you think they have, right? They've only used Shatter, which didn't get much done, right? You're using Blizzard now, right? But like, do you think that Zarya has Grav, right? Looking at where their team is and what they're missing, like, do you think that they're going to be able to push into this, right? And maybe they would have pushed into this if you didn't use Lamp, right? But the trade-off of using that Lamp, the next best thing that you could have used Lamp for would have been Grav, right? And in this case, it didn't pay out, right? And I think it's because you weren't aware of the resources that you had between the Zarya bubble to keep people up, between the Mei using her ice block, right? She could wait it out. You could have kept the healing going and still played back and been okay, right? You have the tools at your disposal to do so. You use the lamp, and this is what gives them the opportunity to grab, right? And so now, because you've used your cooldown like that, right, you missed out on the next best thing, which is preventing this. Right? Imagine how much easier that would have been. So consider the opportunity cost a little bit more, just like not in a fight because that just takes too long, but consider it a little bit more when it comes to like, okay, if I use lamp here, I'm not going to have it for grav, right? Do I need to save my team right here, right now, or do I have the resources to do so? And that's why we VOD review, right? That's why we do this kind of stuff, is so that we can look back on these situations and recognize, okay, this wasn't the best time to use it. Next time I'll look for XYZ thing, right? Um, this wasn't like, oh, I forgot to lamp, or oh, I necessarily lamped too early. You lamp to prevent something that I think could have prevented in other ways. Um, and you lamp to prevent something maybe because you weren't considering that they had grav, right? So just weighing those options a little bit more, like, is this the best time for me to be using it? But when you second guess yourself in game, that's what leads to your team dying, right? So that's why, again, that's why we VOD review, is that we don't have to do that in game. I'm just looking at the Twitch chat now. Doesn't look like there's been any other comments. But does that make sense? Like, does all this seem like a fair assessment of where you're at right now, Michael? Eerie silence. Yeah, definitely think cooldown management is something you should work on. Yeah, 100%, right? Just getting as much value out of you as you can, because Baptiste has some very long cooldowns, but his healing isn't bad, right? Baptiste has really long cooldowns and he's got a really quick ult. We haven't talked too much about window, but I don't think we needed to. I think they're good for the most part. Just, it's all about timing, right? Getting that timing down. Um, but yeah, I think I'm gonna call it for the night. I will save this and put it on my YouTube. But yeah, hopefully this VOD review was helpful, right? I know it might be a little bit more surface level than some pro coach, but yeah, no problem, man. Um, so yeah, let me know if you want me to VOD review other stuff some other time. Um, but hopefully this at least was helpful, in a more holistic, like, what is the ramifications of me using stuff early, right? Right, I'm not 4.2, so I can't fully comment on the situation, but hopefully that was helpful. So, alrighty, have a good night.